Hey guys, it's Julia, designer at the Quilted Cow, and today's tutorial is on the helpful heifer Kourtney Carryall. Before we begin, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Creative Grids, Rulers, Mats, and Rotary Cutters, and Wilmington Prints. Now let's get started. The helpful heifer Kourtney Carryall is an amazing bag. It's perfect for your everyday items. You can use it for Easter or for Halloween. It's an amazing little tote just to grab and go. You can find the kit at our website at thequiltedcow.com or on our Facebook Lives on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Let's begin with the first step. Once you get all of your pieces cut out, the first thing you're going to do is to quilt your mane and then cut it into the same size squares as your lining. And then we're going to start stitching them together. I have a directional print, so it'll be really easy to see this. But you want to take your pieces and lay them out in the order you would like. We're going to make the T shape. So you're going to make sure that your bottom piece, which is the center, is turned upside down, and the one below that as well. These three on the top will all be facing the same direction. There's a great diagram on the pattern. First, we're going to stitch the center. So just place them right sides together and sew them with a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, I have my T shape all sewn together. So the next thing we're going to do is to start forming the outside of the bag. Now to do that, you want to fold this bottom part of the T so it matches up to one of your side pieces. You're going to stitch both the sides together. Once again, stopping a 1/4 inch from where it meets that bottom. Okay, my sides are now sewn together and I've formed a cube. My bottoms, however, are open. So the next thing we're going to do to finish this main part is to pinch our bottoms together. When I do this, I always try to poke out my sides just a little bit so that way they don't get caught in the seam. And you're going to stitch all the way across and that'll close up those 1/4 inch seams we left earlier. Now you have your bag completely formed. What we're going to do next is to turn it right side out. And then we'll move on to our lining, doing it in the exact same fashion. Okay, I've sewn my lining into the T shape, and the next thing we're going to do is to start folding it up and assembling it just like we did with our mane. But before we start stitching on this bottom center piece, we want to make sure that we leave a 3 or 4 inch turn opening so we can turn our entire bag right side out when the time comes. Now I have my lining completely assembled and I'm going to set it aside and we're going to start working on our handles. But once again, make sure that you have a 3 or 4 inch opening right along this bottom edge so you can turn it. So for this step, you're going to need your 4 inch handle piece and then you're going to need your fusible fleece to go inside your handle. What we're going to do is to just fold our handle fabric in half and press it to give that center crease. Next, we're going to open this back up. And we're going to take our little strip of fusible fleece and lay it right near the center, right against that press line or the crease that we've made. And then you want to fold your fabric back over and we'll press that. Once you have fused your fusible fleece, what we're going to do next is to open this back up and we're going to fold our raw edges to the center. Now with fusible fleece, it does tend to get a little bit fluffy, so you may not be able to reach all the way to the center. But I always like to do them one at a time and then make sure my sides are even. So I'm just going to press right along the crease. All the way down this entire side that has the fleece on it. And then we're going to match our other fabric up, so that when it's folded, you get a nice smooth finish on your handles. Once you have your handle completely folded in half and pressed, the next step is we're going to step to our machine and we're going to sew both long edges of this. Let's go sew. Once you have your long sides sewn, what we're going to do next is to fold our handle in half, matching up our short ends to find our center. Then we're just going to take our scissors or our snips, you could even use a rotary cutter, and we're just going to cut this handle piece in half, making 2 pieces. So now you have 2 even handles pieces. You want to look at your bag and figure out which fabric you would like for the front and which for the back. And then you're going to use your ruler. I'm going to use this adorable little Creative Goods ruler, and I'm just going to measure 3/4 inch from one of these side seams, and I'm going to make a mark. So I'm just going to make a mark right on the top edge. I'm going to do the same side on the same square to mark the other handle side. Once you have your 2 marks done, we're going to go to the opposite side and do the same thing for the back. Now you have 2 marks on the front and 2 marks on the opposite side on the back. What we're going to do next is to take our handle, and each handle is going to be on one side. So this handle I'm going to put here on the back side, and I'm going to put some clips in it and line it up right inside of that mark. I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. Flip it over and repeat for the front. You do want to make sure your handle's not getting twisted while you're pinning or clipping. And once you have your handles done, they should be on opposite sides, and we're going to step to our machine and baste those in place. I'm going to slide off the accessory tray from my sewing machine, and then we're just going to stitch these a nice little baste 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Okay, once your handles are basted in place, we're going to take our main and insert it inside of our lining. So your fabric should be right sides together. It's definitely going to be difficult to get the foam inside of just the lining piece, but just push the corners in and it'll work itself out. Once it's in there, you need to line up your side seams in all 4 of your corners. So that's the first step, is lining everything up. Once you have your 4 corners pinned or clipped into place, you're just going to straighten it out so you can put clips or pins on all of your side edges as well. So I'm just going to make sure my top's even on both my lining and my main fabrics. Make sure your handles are tucked nice and smooth. Once you have all your clips in, we're going to step to the machine and we're going to sew all the way around this top edge. Once you have the top of your bag sewn together, what we're going to do next is to turn it right side out. So you want to flip around until you find your opening, and then we're just going to gently move our main to the right side. Once you have it so your lining is the right side out, we're going to take our turn opening and we're going to fold that under and give that a little press. Once you have it pressed so it's nice and tucked in, what we're going to do is step to our machine and sew that turn opening closed. If you need to check for your seams to make sure everything's nice and secure, now's the time to do so before you stitch those closed. Now that your turned opening is sewn shut, we're just going to tuck our lining, matching up our corners and our bottoms into the bag. Now this bag's kind of neat because it leaves a nice faux look. So you get a faux binding right here along this top edge. What we're going to do is just press that to secure it. Make sure it's nice and even around the whole top of your bag. Once you have your top pressed, your lining should be hanging out nice and even around the top edge of your bag. Next, we're going to step to our machine and do a stitch in the ditch right where our lining and our main fabrics meet. So that is the quick and simple Helpful Heifer Kourtney's Carryall. Once again, you can find this kit and pattern on our website at thequiltedcow.com or on our Facebook Lives on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Please like and subscribe for more tutorials, and thanks for watching.
Okay, you wicked cool quilters, good job. You made it to the end. We would like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Creative Grids, rulers, rotary cutters, and mats, and Wilmington Prints for the beautiful fabrics. Thanks for watching.